Welcome back. We're writing Little Man Computer in C++, just to give me the opportunity to learn it a bit better. And so far we have handled the add and subtract operators on the accumulator, store and load, and input and output. We've also handled the negative flag being set if a subtraction is less than 0, results in less than 0. But what we haven't done is we haven't reset that negative flag on other operations that modify the accumulator. So I would suggest that we rectify that now. So let's load our tests and see where we are. So lots of tests, but only the two subtractions where we actually check the result of the negative flag. So what we probably want to do is start with the simple cases of input and of loading from memory, and then handle addition. We can do this relatively simply, I would imagine, by creating a test that the input resets the negative flag, as we can't give a negative value from the input. So set equal false computer dot if this works. It does. Help computer dot negative, and what will require a computer. And imagine, yeah. So we can create a computer. Before we go too far, oops. Add that, and also let's put it in a sensible place. Let's make sure we run the test. Lovely. So that should be okay. Yep. So we have a computer. We want to set the negative flag to true before we start, and then we want to set the inbox to something, anything at all. I'm using 42 for the inbox, that's fine. And then run the input, and we should find that that test fails. At least I hope it fails. Indeed it does. Expected 0, actual 1. Should be a relatively straightforward situation to fix. If we load C++, shame. That's because we've typed it wrong. We can just automatically set negative to false. And now our test should pass. And indeed they do. And we can do the same for load. Load resets the negative flag. We'll perhaps be a touch lazy here and copy our test. Which seems reasonable in this case. And then This time I need to load something. We'll keep the same test values. And we should find that we haven't run the test, of course. Load. There we go, and that's fine. So the test should fail, and it does, with the correct failure. And again, that is relatively straightforward to fix. We're starting to get a little bit of duplication creeping in here, as you would imagine. However, I will just handle the case of add first before removing that duplication, just to make sure that we have a complete set of tests, as that seems a sensible ordering. Okay. So, test add resets a negative flag, and we can take the most basic add here and paste it into our new test, and we can make sure that the negative flag is set and that we test the correct assertion. That negative flag is now false, which it shouldn't be. Ooh, and we shorten the test, which I'm sure everybody's now shouting at the screen on a regular basis. So test add. It's a bit novel. Test add resets the negative flag. Won't. And it fails correctly. And we can just do negative equals false. And we should find that the test now will pass. But we do have this slightly annoying issue with the negative flag here. So what I'm of a mind to do is to create a local function here to set the accumulator. That's not going to work, is it? Because that is not in the right place. Now, annoyingly, with the C++ language, you have to publicly declare private members for some reason. So we shall do that, and I have a suspicion that the formatting should be thusly. So we want a void method called setAccumulator, which takes the value and then we should be able to, in here, set accumulator value and say accumulator equals value and negative is false. And we can replace these things with those calls. It's not quite what I intended. And somewhere else. Yep. Now we don't need to do that here, because by setting the negative flag afterwards anyway, the question is, should we use the same method anyway? I'm not convinced we should, actually. Does this want a better name then? Does this look silly if we say set accumulator is set accumulator and reset negative flag? Is that just completely ridiculous? Probably. Well, let's at least check it runs and all the tests pass. If they do. What do we think about that name? Let's leave it for now, because I think going through the process of having an accurate name is part of the road to having a concise name, but that's accurate. So we will leave it for the moment, and we will see what our get status is. So we can commit those changes, reset negative flag whenever we set the accumulator. And that's fine. Good. So we have all the tests passing there, and we have the correct behavior for the negative flag. And I think we shall leave that there for now.